I owe Dream an apology. Me and every other small commentary YouTuber that has been using his name in their titles, his image in their thumbnails, we all owe Dream an apology. I doubt any of the others will probably apologize. I doubt anybody that gained anything off of this cheating situation will apologize to Dream, but I want to, so I will. It's weird to apologize to the fastest growing YouTuber ever. It's weird to apologize to somebody with tens of millions more subscribers than you. It's weird, but I'm still gonna do it. Dream, I am sorry. I came to a conclusion too fast. I hopped on the bandwagon too fast. I didn't wait for both sides. I just saw the number 7.5 trillion and I jumped on the conclusion that it was correct, that you had cheated. So I am sorry. The second paper's come out, the numbers seem much more probable, it's blah blah blah. I don't care about the numbers. Basically, after everything that has happened after the first video came out, after more videos, more papers have came out, if I were on a jury and you had to ask me to provide a ruling on this case, I would come to the verdict that Dream did not cheat. There is a reasonable doubt, which is a term used in a court of law, and it's also a pretty good Jay-Z album. Basically, Dream, in my eyes, not through his interpretation of the numbers, not through anything statistically, but mostly through his behavior, has somewhat proved to me that he did not cheat. He proved as much as I think he could that he did not cheat. Obviously, if something more comes out on a later date, my views could change, but as of right now, nothing set in stone, but as of right now, Dream is not guilty. Before we start, a large portion of my viewers aren't actually subscribed. Does that sound familiar? It's because the green guy says it, but it's true for me too. So please, if you enjoy, subscribe. Thank you. Now, let's get on with the video. So what really did it for me, what really helped to prove Dream's innocence here was the interview that he did with Dark Viper AU. And it wasn't even an interview, as Viper called it. He referred to it as an interrogation. And that is pretty much what it was. And I think that just him even going into that at all proved to me that this guy didn't cheat, because he went into this, because if you know anything, if you watched any of Viper's videos, he does not like Dream. He routinely refers to him as a manipulative asshole. He doesn't like Dream. He thought he was guilty as hell, and Dream actually asked for an interview with Viper. Viper didn't want to interview Dream. Dream wanted to be interviewed by Viper. And I find that so weird and so admirable at the same time, that Dream would willingly put himself into the lion's den, be there to be berated, to be thrown questions at, just to be in there with somebody who does not like him for 2.5 hours, to be asked tough questions like that. That is at least character. Whether or not it's innocence, I don't know, but it definitely proves character. And anything negative that I could have said about Dream definitely can be changed after seeing this interview. And now, here's the thing. With the numbers, numbers can be skewed. Numbers can be shown in any way possible. You can manipulate numbers to say whatever you want. That's the dangerous part about statistics. It's that no matter how good the math is, it takes one fancy looking graph, it takes a fancy way of putting the numbers for your argument to be completely turned around. And I'm not saying the mod team did that on purpose to get their 7.5 trillion number. They got that number completely correctly. They got that 100% the right way. But Dream's statistician that he hired got his number the way that he found to be more correct. And that's the one thing that is going on in all of these debates, is that there's so many ways in statistics to find your number, and nobody knows the best way. There are 2, 3, 4, an endless amount of good ways to find the number, to find the actual probability. It just depends on which one is really the most right. That's the thing. Numbers don't mean anything to most of us. We don't understand numbers. We don't get numbers. Numbers are confusing. Numbers are hard. That's why he hired somebody with a PhD to find the numbers, because he had no way of rebutting that. How do you respond to pages upon pages of complicated statistics when you barely know anything about statistics? When the full paper doesn't make sense, when you have to read through, again, pages on pages of tough statistics for it to make sense, you end up just getting caught in an echo chamber. You find the easy to understand parts and you start just saying that, and you find the other people who are saying that, and it's like, hey, this number says Dream cheated, and everybody does their thing, but then somebody else sees, oh wait, these numbers mean Dream didn't cheat it, and they find the people who are saying that, and it's an echo chamber. You find the like-minded people who found the same little bit of the paper as you, and you don't open your mind to any other possibilities. Nobody knows what's actually happening with the numbers. I could read the full paper and I probably still could not tell you what the hell is going on. I can tell you both papers found their numbers the right way. Which way is the righter way? I don't know. Here's something I do know. Dream is a smart man. And I don't mean smart like numbers smart. I mean smart like good at his job. And a smart man, in the way that Dream is smart, does not go this hard to defend himself if he is guilty. He is throwing himself out there. He is hiring people with PhDs. He is talking to people who do not like him. He's being interrogated willingly to prove his innocence. I think that is incredible, because if he did cheat, that is incredibly stupid. And if he didn't cheat, that is incredibly smart. It takes a lot of balls to do what he's been doing, and so I do respect him for that. Like I said, the numbers can say anything you want, but actions speak louder than words, and Dream's actions so far have been mixed. At first, his actions were likened to those of someone who was extremely guilty, who was pissed off that they got caught. But now, since then, he's conducted himself in a much more professional manner, in a much more, I guess, innocent manner. He said things that make sense instead of insults and attacks and Twitter tantrums. He started speaking reasonably. He started making good defenses, making decently thought out videos. He's been talking to people in interviews. He's been acting like a smart person again. And the worst part is, Dream could have avoided all of this if his fans weren't the way they are. And I know everything has to circle back to Dream stands, but it really does. If his fans on Twitter would have seen his rants, his tantrums, his attacks, and they said, hey Dream, you're acting like a dipshit, maybe don't do this, then this wouldn't have been drama. This wouldn't have been a scandal. This would have been a normal investigation where they say, hey, we think that these numbers are way too improbable for it to be real. And Dream would have said, oh, okay, let me show you why it actually is real. It could have been fine, but nope. There had to be videos and drama and Twitter beef and all these stupid things because nobody was there for Dream to tell him that he was being a dumbass. And I think they were scared to tell him that he was being dumb because of how much cancel culture on Twitter has made them scared to admit that their favorite creator can be a dumbass sometimes. Dream is 21 years old. If you ask anybody older than that, they'll say he's still just a dumb kid. He is allowed to do dumb things. This might be the dumbest thing he's done on Twitter. That's amazing, given how much dumb shit some people have done. It just doesn't occur to his fans that he is capable of doing something wrong, and so when he does, they just have to agree with it, and they wonder why they get such a bad image. Dream is just some dude. People need to remember that. Every single one of your favorite content creators are just some dude, some person who is sitting there in front of a camera trying to entertain you. They can mess up because they are human, and that is what humans do. I've made videos in the past, and I will make videos in the future about how idiotic stan culture and cancel culture are, especially when combined together. But this is really just a dumb example. This is a perfect example of how idiotic people can be and how much it can hurt people. This whole cheating thing hasn't really done anything to ruin Dream's reputation. It's how he's been handling it. And the fact that none of his fans had the common sense to tell him that he was being an idiot really, really hurts him. And I wish it wasn't the case. There is a chance that Dream cheated, but his fans were so hyper obsessed that they just couldn't fathom the idea of that being true. From now on, I'm going to try to keep an open mind, especially on topics like this, but really, in my last video, I said that Dream hurt the speedrunning community with this. But in reality, the speedrunning community is hurting the speedrunning community with this. They hopped on the hate bandwagon just as fast as Dream stans did. And so I think they're really giving themselves a bad image. I didn't know there was an r/speedrunning subreddit because I'm cool and I don't use Reddit. But they've been conducting themselves in a terrible manner. And they are so just ingrained on the idea that Dream 100% cheated because they probably don't like how successful he's been. So they just hopped on the bandwagon of this guy cheated. And so when Viper made his video and he said in his description that if you asked him, he said Dream didn't cheat, they were all up in arms. They said he had been manipulated into thinking that. And so I think they're all caught up in their own little world. They're all caught up in their own hate. And I think there's too much hate on both sides. I think we just need to let this play out. If you ask me right now, Dream didn't cheat, but there's always a chance that that could change. There was a hate bandwagon on both sides, but now that the dust is starting to settle, I'm going to hop off the bandwagon and say, I am sorry, Dream. But I'm not sorry, Dream stans. You still suck. Let's go. Thank you for watching. Please, again, subscribe if you enjoyed. I'm going to yell at you in the next video.